All right, it's 4 o'clock and time for the meeting of the Board of Directors of the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City. Welcome. Everybody's in their places. We have the whole board in attendance, and so welcome those of you who joined us out there. Let's get started. We have 4 things on our agenda, and the first one is the approval of minutes for August 26th, 2025. Are there any changes that we should be aware of? Are they okay? If not, I would appreciate a motion. That is for approval of the minutes of August 26th, 2025.
I will make a motion to approve the August 26, 2025 minutes.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, are there any opposed? Okay, hearing none, we'll continue on. We are now at citizen comments. All citizen comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and email comments will be entered into the meeting record. Do we have any email comments? No. Okay. Doesn't look as if we have any citizen comments tonight, so we'll continue on to our first action item, which is to consider a resolution approving the amended and restated real estate purchase, sale, and development agreement between the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City and Triumph Group Murray LLC. Chad Wilkinson, and we have Elvon also.
Elvon is IT support right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you,
Just trying to drag that over, and then I think we're good to go. Well, just as we are preparing for that, this is the follow-up to our conversation at our last RDA meeting. This is the amendment that we talked about related to this development that includes the old City Hall site, of course, the Murray Tower project. As we talked about, the developer has requested that we change the project, that we allow for a materials change that would allow for the reduction or the elimination of some of those residential units and replacement with medical office. So this is what we originally had in the agreement. You can see this is showing those 2 condominium towers. They're located on the kind of southeast of the project, kind of mid-block on both the south and east sides of the project there. You can see in the very background that tower on that and in this picture here. So this is the original, again, development plan. You can see the large tower, medical tower on State Street. Here's the actual tower feature. The other medical tower that was proposed, and then these were where the condominiums were originally proposed. In place of that, and I want to just mention that the applicant, the developer is in the process of getting those detailed construction drawings done for that medical office building on State. So it does not show that, but that's because the model was not in a place where they could have that redraw that. But this does at least show the replacement of those condo units with the medical office building on the east side. This will go together in the revised and restated agreement as an exhibit along with the original agreement, so it's clear what we're approving as part of the amendment. Again, this is another view. The applicants submitted a written statement, again, just verifying that there'll be some good active entrances and other architectural features along that street frontage. So again, with the exception of that, not being able to draw all those layers of the model, this is what that would look like on that east side with the new medical tower. Very similar to what they would propose for the medical tower along Arlington. So with that, we have reviewed the way that the approach that we've taken and the recommendation that we're making is to, because of all the amendments we've had up to today, there were 3 amendments. This would be number 4. So rather than doing 4 amendments, we've proposed to the council that we essentially restate that agreement, put all these changes that we've made over those 3 amendments into one agreement. That agreement then can be just one document that'll be recorded against the property. We'll be able to have that on record, and that'll kind of be a starting place again for us. So with that, we are recommending the council approve this amendment, and restatement of the development agreement, and I'm happy to answer any questions if I can.
Questions for Chad?
Yeah, regarding our last discussion with them when they were here, how is that discussion related to this proposal that you have right now?
So that discussion was really related to the building on State Street and getting those development drawings, the construction drawings submitted to us by that new deadline of October 3rd. Did I get that, 3rd or 5th? October 3rd. That date is the set in stone date for the submittal of the building permit package for that State Street building. This is really just, it is a material change, so it does need to come before the RDA, but this is just changing that agreement that previously required condominium units and allowing them to eliminate those and replace with medical tower instead.
So we're still, in essence, we have the other agreement still open. They have to be done by October 3rd with the paperwork. Otherwise, we,
That's right, and that's part of this amended and restated agreement. That deadline is
Okay.
still in there, yep.
wonderful. I just want to make sure that this wasn't replacing
No.
that.
No, all this, and these deadlines, of course, are different from that. The only deadline per se that we have is to get that building permit submitted, and then there'll be some other deadlines that will occur once that permit's ready to issue.
Is this new proposed medical office building, is it going to be the same height or higher than the condos that they're replacing?
I'll just go back to those renderings. It's about the same. It's the same as that medical office building that you can see there on Arlington, but I'll go back so you can kind of get an idea. I think it might just be a skosh lower, but this is a good perspective to see the medical office building compared to the condos. And keep in mind that there is some grade change there as well. There's some height difference at this site, but you can get an idea from that drawing of what this is the existing medical office building on Arlington and one of those condo towers. So the new medical office building would be in that same spot, but, about the same height. Just the grade difference will cause that to be a little bit different, but about that same height.
Because they did come here and ask for that height to be changed.
And this
for
will still
those
fall within
condos.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
What's the intent for the State Street building? The little short squatty one? What are they gonna use it for?
Oh, no, it'll be the big non-squatty. This one, this is the original, let's see. We really just captured that, but this is the original building as proposed. That'll be what they build. So we'll have these exhibits to,
So, hold on, go forward in your slide. Let's see if I can find that one. Keep going. Keep going. All right, there you go. On this one, yep, right where your mouse
yeah.
is.
So that,
What's
again, that's because their model is in the process of being designed, actual construction drawings. That's not the building that's approved with this agreement. All of these will be put in the agreement, so it's very clear what was originally approved, but that State
Okay.
Street building is still a big, tall medical office
It'll
building.
be 5 stories-ish. So we'll have 3 5-story buildings.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But I had the understanding that the ones in the back were going to be 7.
Boy, I'd have to rely on
I'm just-
Jovan to give me the stories, but that's,
Yeah. I'm just
we
looking
can
at
count them
the
up.
Right.
the map says 4, that's why I'm guessing.
You got 5 there above that entrance. We could figure that
Or
out.
5,
but,
yeah.
Okay.
So you've got that kind of podium style there. You can see that in the background. So I don't know the exact number of stories, but I'm happy. Do you know, Elvon? 7 or 5?
So with the entrance being on Jones Court, along there would be entrance there we're not sure.
So this entrance is an
come-
additional story, some space, but there'll also be some podium parking below those as well, as you can see here. The podium parking means that building overhangs that parking a little bit.
Can we see it from the State Street perspective?
I don't know if we have the original State Street perspective in this, because we tried to just capture what's being changed.
Yeah.
So we don't have a State Street?
Not in this presentation. We could probably dig that up here if we need to. I'm going to get my IT specialist to come up and navigate to that original rendering real quick.
Elvon, do you want to come up?
Just out of curiosity, does he get a title change of IT specialist? Like an additional title change?
He does. Yep. Any other questions while Evelyn's bringing that up?
Okay, I guess or I just want to see
Be
that.
here just in just a moment, yeah, and that won't change. That State Street elevation will remain the same.
That'll stay
That's
the
fine.
same. So that'll
gonna
be
drag that over.
with the tower and with
Uh-huh.
restaurants and,
Tower restaurants, the State Street Medical Office Building will all remain the same.
okay.
And that'll be very clear as we label these exhibits, what's being changed and what's staying. So, yeah, that elevation, oh,
I might lose my title here.
But
he's
it'll-
gone to associate now from specialist.
So do we have, oh, you do.
Yeah, so this, looking from Arlington and States Corner, that's the tower, that's the medical office building. That's still, nothing's changed on that.
And it has both of the medical offices then.
So the change that would occur, you can't see on this particular view. It's going to be back behind this building. That's where that new medical office building would be.
Okay. All
You-
right,
If we were looking at this drawing, same thing, it'd be right behind this one. So yeah, it just doesn't show that perspective, but and those are the ones you've seen, so. Any other questions?
no. Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
Appreciate your help on this. And I'll send it to the board and for further discussion or a motion.
I motion to approve the resolution amending and restating the real estate purchase, sale, and development agreement between the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City and Triumph Group of Murray LLC.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There was no further discussion. Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Motion passes, and we'll go to number 4, which is a discussion item, and that is to discuss the Murray City Redevelopment Agency 2025 Annual Report. Elvon Farrell presenting.
Hi.
In his role as a professional.
Here we go, let's see. Skip through here. All right, so I'm here to talk about the 2025 annual report of the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City. So this is something that is required by the state. State code requires that each agency submit project area data to a database through the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity on or before June 30th of each year. So our report was completed by that date, so June 30th, 2025. It's a little bit tricky. So it's reported in 2025. It's for the tax year of 2024, and the projects in the area are for basically from that fiscal year of 2024, 2025, so July to June. So it's a little bit tricky the way they require it. But each of those reports talk about the infrastructure. They include financials, what development progress has been done, goals in the area, and that report is shared with the RDA board, and we've done that. And it's also on our website as well, so any one of the residents can go look at what's been going on in each of these project areas and with the redevelopment agency. This previous year of 2024, a little under 3.1 million was received in tax increment. So that report is on each of our project areas. So we have 3 active collecting areas, the Central Business District, East Vine, and Fireclay. And then we have 3 non-collecting areas, 2 of which have stopped collecting, and one of which we'll be collecting in the future, and that's the ore sampling mill. This is stuff that we've been over and you're very familiar with. I know the anticipation has really been building since we tabled this last time. So, in the CBD area, we collected $1,053,520 in tax increment. So we report on that, on the amounts we receive. We go into details on the tax increment that we get, and further information on the project, when it was created, goals, and then current projects that are going on, which include the Block 1 mixed use, Old City Hall site, which we just discussed. That's in the CBD area. The Downtown Plaza design, which happened, the Murray Chapel sale, adoption of the form-based code, all of which is covered and reported to the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. Fire clay. In fire clay, we received $1,981,466 in tax increment. Some of those key updates that are going on, there's a 272-unit housing project underway. There's the 67-unit affordable senior housing that was funded through the RDA. Land was purchased by the city for public space, and then the Murray North Station area plan was also adopted.
Can I interrupt you for a
Yes,
minute?
please do. Ask questions.
The 67-unit affordable senior housing funded, is that underway? Is that happening? Is that being built?
That is, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, and that's the Hooper Knowlton project there.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. East Vine, so this is definitely a smaller area when compared to the other two. And we received $49,122 in tax increment for that area. That area is completely developed, and so most of those funds are going into infrastructure on Vine Street. And then obviously there's our non-collecting areas of Cherry Street and Smelter Site. Cherry Street, I haven't looked at the most recent numbers. We may have already used up those funds, which were going into infrastructure in the area. If not, that's what those funds are slated to be used for. And then the Smelter Site, obviously we're still working through plans to use the remaining funds in that area. And then the ore sampling mill is working on environmental cleanup before we trigger that collection. And so you've all had a chance to review the 2025 plan and report. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
How is the ore sampling mill going?
It's moving along.
Just, okay,
Yeah, we touch base with them every so often
Okay.
as they're working on this environmental cleanup. They've gotten various real estate partners on board to talk about what they can do on the site as far as what would make sense with the current market conditions.
So when you say it's moving along, do we have a time frame of when they might start or construction or, yeah, like? what are
We
looking
haven't
at?
gotten a solid date on that.
Okay, do we,
But we do know that our other taxing entities are also
they're anxious.
anxious for us to trigger that as
So
well.
where are
and
they in
That's
the-
been communicated to the
Yeah.
property owners, so.
Where are they in the cleanup process? Like, they've begun, they're stuck on something, they're close to finishing?
They've definitely begun, and they've been working on that. They've been obviously going through the material. They have to test all the material, and then anything that meets certain criteria, they have to find a location to then ship that to. And that's kind of where they are in that process, is in that process of taking stuff out, testing, shipping to the right locations to dispose of that.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much, Alvon. We
Thank you.
appreciate it, and we are adjourned.
Thank you for coming. We have all council members, Mayor, Jennifer, Patty, thank you. The first agenda item is no approval of minutes, so we're gonna jump right into the discussion items. Our first one is the Murray Senior Recreation Center report with our Honorable Hal Luke. Hi, Hal.
Thank you. Well, we'll see if we can do better this week, huh? At least it's showing right now.
That was you.
Well, I do thank you for allowing me to talk about some stuff at the Murray Active Aging Center. Last time, of course, you know, we had some problems and so it didn't show up so good. So we had a request to kind of repeat. So basically, we're going to start with talking about the line dancing group we had talked about before. And this is the title that the KSL people put on there. How regular line dancing is helping these seniors stay healthy. And it's important. I don't know if you can read all these little things, but one of the things that I thought was most important was that the 97-year-old Carol Perry has been dancing for 37 years. And so she's been staying pretty healthy as life goes by, so that's good. So here's the, and get it to work, this is the.
Are you in there, Hal?
Negatory.
Not bad, that was quite a response.
I don't know where the sound went, but.
Don't break my heart.
Wasn't that to Kelly Clarkson's
Don't break my heart. Paul usually sing it while we give him
I just did.
louder.
We'll give you a bedazzled microphone to sing.
This is the Kelly Clarkson thing.
Yeah, so Corey's just kind of announcing it, and this is the teacher that teaches that group, and she's been doing it for a long time.
Oh, we can hear it. Oh, no, that's not that.
Oh, is that,
Yeah, I think that might be your.
yeah, it's my phone, right? I don't know why it's doing it. Turned it to silent.
It misses you.
I know, as I can tell, wow. So then they had a little extra clip of some more of the dancing. They do it on Monday afternoons, once a week. And there's quite a few people there. I think about 20 to 30 is what they usually have. So you see some of them kind of get a little more swing in it. So now they're just telling Kelly to vote for them. So,
It's cute. It's a good job.
okay. So it's kind of switched topics a little bit. So on Friday, August 29th, Murray Center Thursday Quilters Group made a presentation of quilts to the Murray City, the fire department, and the police department. The police and fire departments have used these quilts for victims of fire, domestic abuse, or other tragedies. Now, this is the second year that they've been making these presentations, and part of that is because Karen Summerhays only started it 2 years ago. So, but once a month, the group meets at the center and they have a lesson usually in some aspect of quilting, such as what is the batting, types of batting, how to see half circles and applique techniques and things like that. They have material there at the center, and then during the weeks, the rest of the time, the group does the quilting at home for actually the quilts. So each one is kind of put together by individual people. The group then takes and they sell the items at the boutique, which this year is coming up on October 13th. Okay, you got it?
Yep, it's on my calendar.
Okay. And they do other things such as placemats, gift bags. Then the money they earn at the boutique is used to purchase batting and a few of the other supplies that people don't donate. But most of the fabric is donated by many, many people. There's about 15 members of the group, and they always like more people. This year, there was a special presentation made to Mayor Hales for the city, not to him, but for the city, okay? And that was this Love Murray quilt, which is a special quilt that I think is gonna hang around here sometime soon, but it's a number of different places. So, I thank you for allowing us to have a place to put these quilts together and to have these fun events, the line dancing, etc. So thank you for allowing me to participate today.
Thank you, Hal.
Thanks, Hal.
It's wonderful.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, they can't even function now. Where's Cookie? I guess it was the wrong one, right?
It could have been.
Okay, our next discussion item is report from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Salt Lake. Amanda Gardner is presenting 15 minutes. Welcome, Ms. Gardner.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. I probably won't need all 15 minutes because I just wanted to share some information with you. And first and foremost, just say thank you to Murray City, to the council, to Mayor, for not only all of your support financially, but also just in general in the community. I know we're out and about visible and we see you at the other events and our staff run into you and love saying hello. We love Councilmember Pickett having your granddaughter in our child care programs and we just feel so connected to Murray and so grateful that I wanted to come personally and say thank you for the recent approval of the grant funds that support our programs here in Murray. And I realize that in a time where federal funds and public funds are under additional scrutiny and accountability, that many are withdrawing, and that has impacted our entire organization to the site that we have closed 2 of our locations in other communities. We were able to, first and foremost, we looked at the cities where we had support from the city. And so we're gonna look elsewhere. Where are we not getting the same level of support? Carbon County has been a great program, but we were not able to sustain that. We've transferred service area over to that area to Boys and Girls Clubs of Utah County. They're a little geographically closer and easier to serve, and they're running some school-based programs there. But we have closed that site permanently under our management. And we did announce a temporary closure of one of our Salt Lake City clubs on the west side. So we have seen those kind of impacts across our entire organization. When we looked at Murray and know that we have the investment from Murray City and the commitment to here, we really wanted to make sure we were maintaining the same level of service for our kids. We, even at clubs that are open, we've had to look at scaling back on the number of schools that we serve and transportation, provide transportation to and from. But we have been able to maintain transportation to every single Murray School District school for our clubs and our programs, and maintain our childcare programs that are open at 6:30 in the morning for pre-K and kindergarten age students as well, and before school elementary school kids, so that they can get dropped off and taken to their schools as well. So we're able to do that because of your generous support and commitment to our clubs here in Murray and to our kids and families. And so I just wanted to let you know how grateful we all are. And we know that you value our programs, and we value your partnership with us. So we appreciate that very much. I wanted you to hear about that from me directly. And again, express my gratitude. I have shared some information with you. I know you're all pretty familiar with our clubs and our programs. We've been around for a long time. But it's always, I think, nice to kind of see we have developed out different offerings in, it used to be what we called 3 pillars of support and programs, which was health and well-being, character and leadership, and academic success. We've always done life and workforce readiness programs in our clubs, but they either fell kind of under character or academics, and they were a little less intentional. But Boys and Girls Clubs across the country, we've felt that it's such an essential part of getting youth prepared to enter the next stage of life into the workforce or into secondary higher education, that we've called life and workforce readiness out as a priority area for our programs and stuff. So we are doing work-based learning opportunities. We're doing career pathways and exploration. We're building 21st century skills with our STEM programs. Our Murray Club has our only STEM lab that's here in our Murray location, and so they're doing soldering and 3D printing, and they're doing coding and all sorts of fun things in that club. And it's really, really fun to see the kids spending their summer choosing to come in and do STEM educational activities. And we had kids participate this summer in an internship program and a street law program with Foley and Lardner, which is a law firm in downtown Salt Lake City. We had, I'm getting choked up. We had several of our teens who participated where they went for every Thursday to the law firm downtown. They were matched up with lawyers, and they worked through different scenarios of different kinds of legal fields, from copyright law to criminal defense to everything that you could, intellectual property. And they were able to work on cases and do mock trials and create different arguments. And then 2 of our kids were able to actually have internships through the summer with Foley and Lardner. And one of our kids from another club, she's now determined that she's going to be a lawyer. But we had several of our kids from our Murray Teen program participate in that street law program, and we're really excited to continue those kind of hands-on exploration with our partners. We've had Archer Mechanical come into our Murray Club, and they were doing demonstrations on plumbing and pipe fitting and HVAC, and showing them the tools and all of those different things, so that we're just trying to give those kids some exposures to the different pathways that are of interest and available to them, and helping them set goals on what they want to do when they get out of high school and on to the next thing. So so life and workforce readiness programs continue to be a really important part of our programs. That we don't want them just to have school 2.0. We want them to be ready to have fun, but we want them to know that there are lots and lots of opportunities to them for after high school and after our clubs. So there's information on that. The next page that I've given for you, we conducted as part of our strategic planning process a comprehensive community needs assessment, and where we interviewed parents, we interviewed kids, we interviewed school district partners, principals, donors, all sorts of from all different aspects, and try and figure out what is the community saying that they're most concerned about. What are our parents saying that they need from our clubs and from our programs? And so here's just a quick snapshot of the results of what we got. I think it's no surprise that people, families are very worried about safety and economic issues, social issues, emotional health and well-being. And of course, you know, what does the city look like in 10, 15 years, in 5 years? What the development, what is housing gonna look like? What does that mean for me and my family? And so those are some of the issues that came up. Of course, also the huge gap in childcare that we see across the state and in after-school programs. And in fact, our site closures that I mentioned earlier are not unique to us. The Utah After School Network reported that there are over 50,000 kids in the state of Utah who were served in after-school programs less than the school year before. And that there are more than 50 programs in last school year closed across the entire state. So that gap keeps getting wider and wider, and especially for that childcare age as well. And so we know that 1 in 8 kids who are enrolled, for every 1 kid enrolled in an after-school program, there are 8 more waiting just for that availability. And so we're really looking at how do we address that gap. Transportation is one of our biggest costs and barriers to getting to the kids to our programs for both families as well as for us. So we need drivers. If we're hiring for drivers, if anybody wants to work from 2:30 to 4 every day and do a van driving schedule and pick up kids and bring them.
Those hours.
Yeah, I know, it's the hours, right? And that is a hard time. So we're actively recruiting for drivers because we do have some waiting lists, but we have capacity to serve them if we can get them to our clubs. And that's true here in Murray as well. So then the second page of that is how are Boys and Girls Clubs responding to the needs that we heard? Of course, our educational and skill development that I was just talking about, mental well-being. It's not just mental health, but the entire well-being of yourself and how that plays into your physical side as well. Community service and engagement. We really heard parents are saying we want our kids active and doing something. We want them out in the community. We want them away from their screen times. So making sure that our kids have opportunities to volunteer and to serve not only in the club, but in their community, doing cleanup days, doing whatever it is that they're doing that's of a topic that's of interest to them, getting them activated to know that they can make a difference in their community and that they are agents of change. We want to make sure our community sports programs are available. The parents are saying our kids need to be active, and we know that having access to affordable community sports programs builds teamwork and collaboration and resiliency and grit and all of those other things that they can take off of the court with them. So we've added in hockey with the Utah Hockey Club, now Mammoth. We've been doing some hockey clinics that were in so demand, like they just filled up. The minute we opened it, we had a all-day hockey clinic, and it was sold out within like literally the same day that we opened up the registration. So we started doing others. The Mammoth sent over hockey players, and they gave everybody hockey sticks and all of those different things that they got to. Now we're actually doing a full league, and so we're partnering with the Mammoth, and we're doing that in Murray, and trying to expand the variety of sports activities that we are making available to our kids and families. And so hockey seems to be a really popular one right now. And we're really grateful for the Utah Mammoth for being able to partner with us on that, similar to the way we do our junior jazz programs as well. And then we want to make sure our kids are having exposure to culture and artistic enrichment as well, and that our clubs are becoming affordable to all of our families. With the artistic program, we're partnering with Pioneer Theater Company, where they're coming into our clubs. They're sending in some of their actors or their directors or some of their set designers. They're doing workshops with our kids and then giving the kids tickets to go and see one of their shows at Pioneer Theater. So really amazing things that are happening. There's so much that happens beyond our club doors that we don't get to talk about. So I just appreciate the time on the agenda today to share some of those highlights with you. I know it's a hard time for nonprofits out there in the world right now, and we're not immune to that, but there's so much good that is happening in our clubs and in our communities. And again, just wanted to just say thank you for your support. That's really all I had prepared. Do you have any questions or anything from you?
No, that was great.
It was.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, happy to do that.
There, that was
Yeah, please.
awesome.
Yeah, if I could just say this, it's been a really good resource for my daughter to be able to take her daughter there. And I know that she's in a situation where she couldn't afford much, just freshly divorced and starting her life all over again. It's been a good place for her to get a leg up. So thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My kid's there right now too. And I've spent a good portion of my time as a single mom and what that meant to being able to have my kid in a place where I know that I don't have to leave work, that I can, my kid's taken care of. They get a snack, they get help with their homework, they get a run around, they get all those other activities that I just mentioned. And then when we get to go home, we get to just be a family, right? And that quality time that we give back to families, that they're not stressed about homework, they're not stressed about food, that they can just be, you're a working parent, you only get so many hours in a day with your kid. So we know we have the privilege of having these kids in our clubs, sometimes more than they spend in school or at home. And so we really want to make sure it's a safe and fun and an enriching place for them to be, and that it's supporting the families. That's why we reached out to them and say, what do you need? What do you want? How can we help better support you and your families? And so that's what I have to share with you. So thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate that. I'm glad to be a resource to your family as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm gonna go pick up my kid who's in our club right now to go be mom. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our next discussion item is update on research into private pond regulation. Chad Wilkinson, 15 minutes.
Hey. You can scoot over a little bit. Oh, thanks. Well, thanks for the opportunity. We've been working hard these last several weeks. We've had, I'm going to show you a couple of things. So I'm going to move over to the right screen here. But what we did is as we always do on these ordinances, we like to look at what other cities are doing, what other communities are doing. And in this case, we wanted to make sure that we didn't just do a superficial, what can we find on the website? I will say that related to this issue of backyard ponds, there wasn't much on many of the websites. We found one website that had some pretty good information, but most of these required personal phone calls with the various cities. And sometimes it required multiple, because a lot of times we'd get the building department, they'd say, we have no idea, go talk to planning and zoning. Planning and zoning would say, we don't really get involved in that, go talk to engineering. And we'd have to do multiple phone calls. So I want to just give a shout out really quick to the personnel of our building department. Our building department staff did a lot of work calling, being persistent with the various cities to get to the point where we're at tonight. So I want to get those both dragged over really quick. But the first thing I want to show you is this is actually a summary of the information. But this is the cities that we looked at. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get anything back from Draper, but we looked at most of the other communities here in Salt Lake County. I'm not going to go over this. I have a summary of that on my PowerPoint. But just wanted to show you that from the perspective of, we did try to ask a lot of questions about, follow-up questions, make sure we understood what their regulations were. And I'll get into the summary of that in a second. We can go back to that if you like. So really quick, I'm going to open this up so we can take a look at it. What we found was this. We found that the cities on the left-hand side are cities that do not currently require a permit for a pond. So Murray, Mill Creek, Salt Lake City, South Salt Lake, Taylorsville, West Jordan, West Valley City. Now I have that asterisk, every one of those would require an electrical permit if there was a pump or a filter or something that required that. And an important distinction is that's hardwired.
Hardwired.
Sometimes
Yeah.
there are plug and play pumps that people can get, they can put in there, they plug it into their extension cord and off they go, right? So that does include any kind of hardwired pump would require an electrical permit. On the right-hand side are cities that require, I have pond permit in quotes because not all of them call it that, right? So Harriman, the MSD cities, that's Kearns, Magna, all those municipal service district towns and cities. So they're all regulated under the county and they fall under that umbrella. Midvale, Sandy, Riverton, South Jordan, and each of those cities takes a different approach. In relation to those pond permits, there are some thresholds. A number of those cities had a 24-inch depth threshold of requiring a permit of some kind. Others had 5,000 gallons. It's a lot of water. That was the threshold. There were a couple of cities that had combined 24 inches and 5,000 gallons. Others didn't go at that, look at that at all. Really, there was a couple cities that this was regulated through their engineering department, and it was based on an amount of material that had been moved. So if it was a certain cubic yards of material, it didn't matter if it was a pond, a hole, whatever. There was a permit required for that, and they would regulate it through that process. And again, all of these cities, same thing. If there's any kind of electrical, the cities always require an electrical permit, regardless of what else is going on, if there's hardwired pumps and things out there. I have put that note, that spreadsheet has a pretty good summary of the submittal requirements, but it just depends on the city. This is where this gets a little bit interesting, because for Harriman, for example, they indicate that they treat these like a pool if it's greater than 24 inches. However, they acknowledge that, not exactly. We treat it like a pool for the purpose of we issue a permit, but we acknowledge that it's not a pool. There's not a structure. You might sometimes have a concrete lined pool or a liner that goes in that has structural requirements. They acknowledge that we don't always have those. We don't always get that information, but they do require things like geotechnical reports and other things like a pool would require in order for that to be allowed. So that is a brief summary of the cities that we contacted there. So I wanted to try to anticipate questions you might have, and you may have more. But a lot of the cities, again, said that if it goes to that 24-inch or 5,000 gallon mark, we're going to require a permit like a pool. Most of them that said that also indicated that when they say requirements like a pool, the zoning requirements would almost always apply, right? These are the zoning requirements from our ordinance for a pool. So 5-foot setback from side and rear property lines for the pools, has to be enclosed by a fence, a wall, 6 feet in height with a self-latching, self-closing gate. There's also some standards for how far apart, if it's something like a chain link or a wrought iron fence, how far apart some of those, or a picket fence, how far apart those pickets can be, so you're not allowing someone to squeeze through. Has to meet the pool structure. This is an important distinction. The pool structure has to meet current building code standards. That's the structure, right? So we're talking about something that actually has a structure with it, something that's built up like a pool. It's got, like I say, either concrete or some type of a gunite type liner in there that they have to actually go physically build up. Put reinforcing metal in there. Sometimes there's rebar or equivalent that goes into these before they spray them, so they have that good structure. So there's a structure involved. That structure has to meet the building code standards. We did want to answer this question because I know it's come up. Safety covers are not required for pools. So there are options in the building code. You can have, if you have a fence that surrounds it, there's not a safety cover required. So that's the trade-off. Our code chooses to say fence. If we didn't say fence, we could give an option to say you could do a safety cover as well. But it's not required by building code. It's an option. And our code chooses to go with the fence instead of the cover. Now, there is a little bit of a nuance there. Covers themselves are required, but it's not a safety cover. It's an energy code requirement, and that energy code requirement puts that cover over it to make sure we don't have energy loss coming out of that pool with all the heat and things that go on in those pools. So, but it's not a safety cover. Safety covers would be different than the required cover for energy loss. I just lost the word when I was trying to think of loss. We also don't currently regulate the size of the pool other than if they can meet the setbacks. So if they have a yard that allows for a pool based on the setbacks in their rear yard, they can put that pool in. So I want to just talk briefly about, sometimes dimensions and sizes are hard to picture. I want to just talk briefly about that. So I chose, this is not far from some of the neighborhoods we've been talking about with this issue. And I chose this particular part of Murray because you can see there's a ton of pools right there for whatever. This is like Pool Central that I could find in Murray City. So, and they're all fairly similar dimension pools. You can see those. This one, and I'm going to get a little bit closer on these, but this is a third of an acre. This property up here is a quarter of an acre. You can see both of them have pretty sizable pools there. I'll explain what these red rectangles are, but as we move down on this first one, this is the third of an acre. In some of the emails that we've received from the public, we've had a dimension of 10 by 15 by 5 feet deep. That rectangle is 10 by 15. I don't know how deep it is right there in the pool. It looks like the deep end's over here by the diving board, but that at least gives you an idea of how that would relate to kind of a standard pool. That's 10 by 15. You can see if you were to take that rectangle and put it in another part of that yard, probably could fit a pool and a pond of that size in a yard just fine, right? That with plenty of room to still run around. Next one's that quarter acre, same thing. That's 10 by 15, just to give you, again, just trying to help us envision the size. Another way you might envision that is that this table that you're sitting at is 13 feet long. It's not that wide, it's not 10 feet wide. You have to have another table to get to that dimension, but that gives you kind of an idea. Whereas a pool would be most the size of this room, right? Most the dimension of this room to get to a pool. One other thing that's, I think, interesting, over there on the door, there's a sticky note. I like these visual aids. That's 2 feet deep to the bottom of that sticky note. So that gives you an idea of what that threshold would be for some of these cities that require that. Maybe that's deep for some of you, maybe it's shallow for some of you, but that's what that dimension is right there at 2 feet. I don't have a good visual aid for 5,000 gallons, but it's a lot of water. And again, that's more or less just so you can get an idea. It's more than that.
I'm just letting you bring in 5,000.
I could have done that. I should have. It would have been like Miracle on 34th Street where the guys come with gallons and gallons of water. No idea. Instead of the mailbags. Anyway, that's a deep cut. So I want to talk about, these are some things that have come up, and I want to make sure, some of these are looking into some of the issues that were brought up, but this is not making a judgment call. We just want to try to address some of the issues that were brought up. First of all, I think we mentioned this last time we talked to you about this in the special meeting that we had, but we currently have mosquito abatement district in DWR that regulate mosquito and fish issues, and we think that's the appropriate place for those issues to be regulated. We actually found, talking to mosquito abatement district in particular, that they have pretty good success with that issue with private pond owners. When they identify somebody that needs some help, they said that almost always, like 99% of the time, people are cooperative. They bring them mosquito-eating fish, or they've got these little, he had a name for it, I just forgot it. It's like a little cake that they put in there, and it poisons the mosquitoes, but not the fish. So he said that that's pretty effective. DWR, they get involved only if there's game fish in a pond. So if you had trout or someone wanted to put some bass in there or something, but these koi ponds, things like koi, goldfish, DWR doesn't regulate that. They're not considered to be game fish, and they just would allow whatever people pick up at the koi store, I guess. We wanted to talk with some of our cities that we talked with our own building official, and also some of the cities that didn't require permits, and even some of them that did, about some of the challenges that they have. And again, one of the things where these are very different from a pool is, again, there's not usually a structure. Typically, if you do have a liner, it's either an insert liner, one of these plastic liners you see at Home Depot, or a liner, an actual, I like to call them almost like a fancy tarp, right? It's a membrane that goes into the pond that's been dug out. It goes with those contours and follows those. And they can put rock and things in there to make it fit the contours that they've created. So when it comes to review, that makes it difficult to determine what it is that we need from folks. What we found from a lot of them, again, was that they looked at things like geotechnical review, that kind of information that's prepared by a geotechnical engineer or some other qualified professional. There are definitely similarities between pools. We totally get that, we agree. There are also some notable differences. You've got vegetation, fish, landscape, et cetera. So we would want whatever, if the council directs us to continue this effort, we would want to make sure we acknowledge those differences. We can't treat it exactly like a pool. It's a different thing. It's a different type of a construction, different type of thing. It's a different purpose, really, that most people build these pools. Now, I want to make sure this next bullet point, it's very important to me that I want to be clear that this, when I say it's not frequent, that doesn't mean it's not important. I'm in no way saying this is not an important issue. I think that, we know that this has been brought up by folks that are very concerned. I totally get that. I want to make sure it's very clear that I think this is an important issue, but it is not a frequent issue. It's not something that we see brought up a lot. And the reason I bring that up is that whenever we have that type of a situation, we want to have a lot of caution about adopting any kind of ordinance that address an individual circumstance because of unintended consequences. And some of those, as we talk about, for example, drafting an ordinance that requires a geotechnical engineer. If someone comes in and we choose to go 24 inches as our threshold, as staff, we've now lost our discretion, right? So if it's 26 inches, they're required to get a permit. So if you have a neighbor that comes into us and they say, do I need to get a permit for this? We say, how deep is it gonna be? They say it's gonna be 26 inches deep. We say, well, you gotta get a permit then, right? And so all these things would be applicable. And in that case, there could be things, if we choose to adopt things like geotechnical studies, engineering studies, that would then apply to everybody, right? And so we just wanna make sure that that's clear if we go forward, that those things apply to across the board. We don't pick and choose who we enforce ordinances on. That's what we have to do from that point on. In the case of engineering reports, geotechnical reports, if someone wanted to do a pond that was 30 inches deep instead of 24, that could potentially be the thing that decides that for them, because those engineering reports have a cost that's associated with them. So we just want to make sure that when we say that it's not a frequent issue, we're not saying it's not important. We understand that these are, that these are concerning issues. We do want to just caution, though, that, again, if it's just an individual issue, maybe there's other ways that can be addressed. And again, even if the city chooses not to adopt any kind of standards, there's always civil remedies available if something going to happen. For example, someone digs too close to a property line, those civil remedies are out there. I think another good example of that frequency issue, we get a lot of, that's actually one that is a little bit more frequent. We get a lot of people that contact us about property line disputes. It's important. Those are important things, but that's one of those things that we've decided as a community doesn't make sense for us to get involved in. That's a civil dispute between two neighbors. They need to work out those property lines, and we don't get involved in those types of issues. So that being said, that's just some other things we wanted you to consider. So next steps, we are happy. You've kind of seen the research that we've done. We can go through that Excel spreadsheet if you have specific questions about some of those cities. Happy to continue to work on this. I think, again, from our standpoint, if the council wishes us to go forward and continue to draft the ordinance, we're gonna need a little bit of time. The simple part would be adopting some ordinance that just applies the zoning standards, right? Because that's just setbacks from property lines, requiring a permit. But the more difficult part of that is, okay, what do we get in that building permit? What do we require from an applicant? Is it a geotechnical report? Is it engineering of some kind? What does that look like? That's the part that we need to be a little circumspect about because of all those things I just mentioned. It does increase costs, it does increase impacts on people that want to build a pond, right? So if you do wish us to go forward, we can. Again, we don't have to. This was our assignment so far was to look into this a little bit more. That's what we tried to do. If the council wants to give us some direction tonight that you want us to keep moving forward with some type of looking at ordinances, we can certainly do that. My personal recommendation after looking at all these other cities would be, if you do want to go forward, it would be a light touch ordinance. We'd want to try to make that as we want to still enable those people of goodwill that want to build a koi pond in their backyard to be able to do it without too much of an impact on that. So happy to answer any questions if I
Can you
you
bring up that Excel spreadsheet again?
Yep. Is there a certain city you want to look at? I can,
No, not necessarily city, but as far as, do any of them require like a liner?
yeah, there were a couple that, let's see. I'd have to find that. I might have to do a control F and just see where those were, but there were some that said that they want to see what it's lined with. You'll see a lot of this, depends on the size, depends on the pond.
Says it's in her.
You need to know if the yeah, there you go.
There we
So
go.
Sandy has that requirement. If you look at Magna and Kearns, you'll see that it has, that's essentially their pool submittal requirements. As we talked with them in person, they said, yeah, it's true, but we understand that sometimes you're not gonna have everything. There's one, in fact, there's a gas plan, I think, gas line diagram.
Yeah.
Most ponds don't have a gas line, right? So
Yeah.
they acknowledge that this is our pool stuff. We kind of customize that for,
Yeah, they just cut and paste
yeah.
their pools. Okay.
Anything else you want to look at on that?
Just seems to me if you're gonna have a pool that big, that it should have a liner and it should be fenced.
Yeah, yeah. Pond, yeah.
I mean, a pond, yeah.
So I have a couple, let me jump in. How would this affect new construction? Let's start with new construction of homes. Most new homes don't have a pond, right? This is coming into somebody who adds it.
They could, yeah, I mean, they could be building at the same time, sometimes during the landscape process, so it would apply.
So it could potentially slow down a process and increase.
No,
housing
because
costs.
we would typically do those as separate permits, right? A house would have its own permit, this would have, if we do require a permit, this would have its own permit.
And then as we talk about unintended consequences, I'm thinking of like a commercial property I'm thinking Gary Hallen's property. There's that rock flower garden, but I think at one point it was a pond or a fountain. Would that regulate fountains that like a business puts in?
Just anything that would, if we were to adopt a certain standard, anything that met that standard would have, yeah, both commercial and
So
residential.
it'd have to go.
So
Either
we have,
gallons or size.
I
or
didn't show
anything
this
like
because my
that.
focus was on residential, but we have
Yeah.
commercial standards for pools as well and ponds, yeah.
Hunter's Woods.
And then how
Yeah, Hunter's Woods has a big pond.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they do.
But it has a filtration with it.
Okay. And then how much is the permit, like usually? I should know this, I don't know how much a permit would cost an individual.
That's the part we need to.
We'd have to come up with
We'd have to
something.
see what type of information we're going to require. Depending on what type of information we require, it may require that our engineering folks get involved in the review of that because our building inspectors are not engineers. They know the building code
Right.
back and front, but they're not engineers, and we always rely on professional engineers to review that type of information. So we'd have to have someone that's qualified to look at that.
I have a question. So when they start digging, and usually they have blue stakes, do they go in and get blue stakes, come in to make sure they're not gonna hit someone's lines?
They
or
should.
Or they're not getting too close to the neighbor's backyard, side yard, whatever, and getting into causing problems with the other homeowners around them? That's where I have a concern with this, is what is the implication of the other neighbors around a pond?
Sure. Blue stakes wouldn't cover the neighbor issue. They certainly would identify utilities, existing utility locations, but blue stakes doesn't review how close they are to a property line or anything like that. So that, that's something that some of these cities, require that type of information. If you were to apply all of these, I better not say all, many of these cities, as we've looked into it, when they say that the pool requirements apply, most of them have some kind of a setback for a pool, 5 feet, whatever it
Do
is.
people come in for a permit for a pond, or they just put it in there?
I think probably most people are just putting it in there, but we have issued some permits over the last 10 years. We found 2. One of them was the city that pulled the permit for a filter that we had. The other was a homeowner that pulled a filter, or pulled a electrical permit for a pump, basically. So there are some that come in.
And so if they cause any damage, I just worry about the homeowners that are around a pond that did not get a permit. And what those homeowners that are around a pool, what,
Well, now if someone doesn't get a permit, it's the same thing as, like, let's say someone didn't get a permit for their pool, right? That's breaking the law. So if someone comes in and we have a requirement to get a permit and they don't, then they're gonna be subject to all the things that go along with that as far as, the law itself, but also any kind of civil remedies that their neighbor may bring against them to say, hey, you were supposed to get a permit, you didn't. and they can bring that civil remedy against them. Right now with our pond ordinance, that's still applicable. If someone goes in and digs too close to their neighbor's property line and undermines a fence or a building, there's still civil penalties that can apply. It's not like, the city doesn't always have to be involved in order for civil
Okay.
penalties
Yeah.
to apply, right?
Okay.
And that's why I brought up that property line adjustment, or the property line dispute. We don't get involved in those. We don't go out and identify property lines for people. They have to work that out between themselves, and they have those civil remedies, so.
You've spoken a couple of times, Chad, in the present tense about the laws that we have in the book for ponds. So we have some regulations already in there.
Just for electrical permits.
Just for electrical
So if they need an electrical permit, if it's not a plug and play, if it's a hardwired electrical, we do require a permit for that. And
That's the only thing.
if someone comes in and asks, we'll tell them that, you need to get a permit for your electrical.
Okay.
We don't have any kind of, I said before that if you look down some of these, that's a good one right there, Holiday. They don't require a building permit, but they have a grading permit that's required, and it has to do with the amount of material that's being moved. And again, that, they do, right, you can see right there, right, for them, there's a lot of discretion given to the engineering department for what they wanna see.
Yeah.
So again, some of the cities, they actually will reach out to the mosquito abatement district and give them a heads up too, say, here's a new pond. The guys at mosquito abatement said to me though, that they monitor that to the extent that they can, if they ever receive any intel, that they proactively reach out. And like I said, they said most people don't want mosquitoes, so they're cooperative. And I don't know if there are some that want them or if they're just not responsive, but, yeah.
I still think if it's a huge pond, I mean, almost as big as a pool, that for the safety of those around it, it should be fenced and they should have a liner.
I would say most are gonna have a liner just because they don't wanna have that water loss. Not all, but I think most people that are investing in the pond are gonna put a liner in there to keep the water in. But I mean, obviously there's always gonna be those bad actors that
I know, we have that all the time, and practically everything we regulate, that's,
and it'll still happen with this. Even if we adopt a standard, you're still gonna have folks that'll go ahead and do these things without a permit. That's just part of the enforcement process.
right. But at least then we would have something to,
If I can speak my mind on
Yeah,
this.
what are you thinking?
I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
thinking that Robert Frost in his poem Mending Walls said it best. There's something out there that doesn't like a wall. It keeps knocking it over. So my feeling is if it affects a neighbor, I want it regulated.
Okay.
Do what you want. But the minute you affect your neighbor, I want it regulated.
So Paul, I'm gonna push you. So in this case, what would you like to see the ordinance say then?
Setback, definitely. I think the safety of children is
yeah.
very important, so some kind of fencing to protect children from falling in there. Those are the two biggest things I can think of right now.
What size do you want to regulate?
Yeah.
Should we talk about what percentage of the yard should be covered by that?
Depth or?
Well, I think once we get the depth, we're talking about affecting a neighbor. The deeper you go, the more water it has, the
Yeah.
more it can, filtrate into a
Potential for
neighbor.
damage, of course.
A liner definitely to keep it from filtrating the ground and getting into the
That water
neighbor.
conservation, yes.
So those are the things that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Liner and fence.
I'm thinking of the children, the liner, and the property that is affecting all the other people that are around that pond. And what it's going to do to their property and what it's going to be bringing into their property. Other animals, bugs, whatever, I don't.
So
That's why
would
need a
you
liner.
change or add anything that Paul said to the
No.
ordinance? You're fine with everything he said? Scott?
Yeah, same. I've been the victim of a unlined water feature and it's not fun. So, yeah.
Diane, anything you would?
I already said how I feel.
Yeah, so anything you wanna change from that?
No, I think it needs to be fenced and it needs to be lined. And
The size
the size,
should go with this, maybe with the yard, with the size of a piece of property.
I would be, the reason I brought this up is I would be a little bit careful about that because you can see that I mean, that's a pool, right? That's pretty big. This is that pond that we're talking about right now is about 5 by 10 or 15 by 10 by 5 feet deep. That could go in a lot of corners of that yard on a third acre and still be.
But that's a pool in my mind. I see that as a pool and there's a lot of regulations to a pool. But-
I'm not saying about not regulating. I'm just saying trying to create something. We don't regulate the size of pools
Right.
by yard. We
Right.
regulate by setback.
Right.
If they can meet the setbacks.
Okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right.
I think setbacks are smart, liners smart. I wanna make sure staff has discretion within the code.
And we want to have as little as we can. I mean, we want some,
But I want you to be able to like, if there's like, to be able to make a
We don't want to pick
judgment.
and choose winners and losers, right?
Yeah,
So,
but there's also,
Right.
there might be a situation where you're like,
Yeah.
24,
I understand,
like, yeah, so I want you to have next flexibility.
So
to
the
make-
part that I mentioned before, the part that's gonna be a little bit complex is working with our building folks, our engineering folks to find out exactly what we can review, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we can say there needs to be a liner, but none of us are liner experts, right? So we need to figure out what that means, who reviews that, did they get a stamp from some kind of professional that says this is good to go? We'll figure that part out. That's the more complex part than just adopting the setbacks and requiring a permit like a pool, that's and a fence, that's fairly straightforward.
I'm just kind of worried that
Safety
people
is an
aren't gonna
issue.
come and say they
I
have.
am worried about that too.
They're
If we've
not.
had 2 permits for the electrical,
Yeah, in 10 years,
we can do it, we can do it.
It's interesting, as we look for
Well, we
examples of
can
ponds
always
on the
do
aerial
some.
photos, we all know they're out there, we've all been to backyards in Murray where there's ponds, but they're hard to find because they're usually under tree cover.
Yeah.
Whereas a pool is out in the open, so we don't know exactly how many this affects, but, we're happy to do that, we'll get to work, we'll put together some basic things. Give us a little bit of time to figure out exactly how we review some of those, and what's appropriate for engineering and those types of things. We'll consult with some of the cities that we listed there. So we'll need to go to the planning commission first for their review and recommendation, so we'll get to work.
Thank you.
It's good.
Thanks.
Chad.
thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Okay, our final discussion this evening. We have 10 minutes, is that correct?
Hopefully about 20.
Partnering with Main Street USA, Murray City Downtown District, Adam Hawk, Gia Field, and Jennifer Connecticut.
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 More California, whatever you want.
So,
Connecticut? Are we moving? Okay.
all right, so this is for the $65,000 request for the Murray City Downtown District. We've been discussing this internally for a while, but as we're considering moving forward, I think the number one thing we have to look at is this is a long-term agreement that we have to look at. We can't just do it for a 1 or 2 or 3 year thing. We need to, if we're gonna enter into this, we need to have it for the long haul. So, GL, is there more that I need to add to it?
So, not really, but let me just, give me that
The
anyway.
lawyer spin on it.
So there's 2 ways to look at this. When it first came in, the view was this is just like a nonprofit who's requesting funds. That's one way of looking at it, and you can treat it that way. But there's more to the Main Street program than just that. Originally, when this has been out there for a very long time in the country, Utah really kind of started to beef it up, it looks like in 2021. They had 2 pilot cities, Brigham City and I think else. Anyway, the idea behind it actually is that the city itself passes a resolution saying we support this revitalization, we're all in, we're gonna put money into it, it's gonna be basically our vision, our thing. And that's when you would go out and get a board of directors and have a 501c3 involved in it. But that's not, I don't think that's what has come across so far, is that this is really the city doing it with the help of a 501c. It's kind of been backwards.
Right.
The 501c3 is doing it with the city's funds, but it's really the city's vision, the city's downtown, some historic preservation, some economic development, that type of thing. So I just want to make sure that you know, if you move forward with this, you can move forward with it just as a donation, and you're not going to get any further into it, or you're all in, and that would suggest a lot more. Let me just read you a couple things from the states. This came up in 2021. There was a resident that stood up and spoke about it. And I think the context was historic preservation. I don't recall for sure. And the CED director at that time got an email from the state. Attached to that were several documents that I've now downloaded. And here's some of the things that it says. Financial support for the organization comes from the local entities that have a stake in the downtown. City government, merchants, businesses, major employers, and the public. It is a local initiative both organizationally and financially. They talk about there's different tiers to this whole program. And what it says is a community will be officially recognized as a level tier 1 Main Street community once they have completed the community designation application and have been accepted into the Utah Main Street program. That was done for you by the 501c3. The community will commit to participating in the Main Street training series and have developed their communications and fund development plans. Then it goes to level 2, tier 2. The intent of this level is to assist communities in implementing the Main Street 4-point approach to revitalization and existing organization, or helping to create an organization to host the Main Street efforts. So it's more than just, here's some money, go and do whatever you're gonna do. It's really, I think at the base of it is the city saying, this is what we want for our downtown. Again, you can treat it the other way and say this is just a nonprofit asking for money. Currently, there are, from the state's website, and this is run through, it used to be the governor's office, it's changed to someone else, I can't remember who it is. They've got listed tier 1 and tier 2, and tier 1 is Fillmore, Green River, Gunnison, Casharum, Magna, Monroe, Parowan, Pleasant Grove, Spring City. I don't know where Spring City is, but apparently it's here in Utah. Springville. And tier 2 is Brigham City, Cedar City, Heber, Helper, Logan, Mount Pleasant, Murray, Ogden, Payson, Price, Tulsi, and Burnham. Those are the ones that are currently participating in Utah. And then further, it talks about this is again back in 2021. The new Utah Main Street program will help Utah communities revitalize their economy, appearance, and image of their downtown commercial districts. They do this by building a strategy centered around a community's unique heritage and attributes, focusing on what's special to make it a great place to live and visit. The program provides framework and resources to support a community's downtown revitalization efforts and requires the community to commit to the Main Street approach. The Utah Main Street program is not just about getting a grant for the community. This is a process to revitalize the community downtown. So again, this is more than just what you normally see at the budget time. It can be, that's an option to pursue. Or the other option is just to treat it as a 501c3 is asking for funds and you go through that same process we've done before for others.
So would it be almost like a department in the city?
Kind of. It's not really. They do set up 501c3s and those are run independent of the city. But there would be likely some sort of overlap with those from, I think currently Elvon, for example, is involved in this. There's other volunteers involved in this. So it's a close working relationship, don't get me wrong. That's kind of the big difference. It's more like, to me, it's more like a NeighborWorks relationship than it would be a chamber relationship where the chamber comes in and requests funds and that's the process you go through, as opposed to like an agreement. They're doing something we could do, but they're going to do it better, so we're going to partner with them.
How would it be, who would hold it responsible? I mean, if it's just an ongoing $65,000 each year, then who would determine if this is functioning as it should?
Probably similar to what Boys and Girls Club did tonight. You'd have a report, there'd be an agreement that required them to come in and report, and then you would determine how it's going. I think you probably have quite a bit of say in what happened as well. What is your vision for downtown historic and economic revitalization? That's kind of what you're.
But we can withdraw the funding from Boys and Girls Club if we determine that it's not being spent the way we think it should be.
You can.
Can we do the same with this?
Yes and no. I mean, the idea is that it's the city's idea to do this. When the city's on this tier, that means the city is the one, is at least an equal partner, if not more than 501c3 in my mind. That's the way it's set up. It may not work that way in practice, but the way it's set up is you decide if you want to be a part of this. You pass a resolution saying we want to be a part of this. Can you undo that? You can. You can undo that. You can say, okay, we've gone through this for several years, but now we're done. From my reading of what I've seen, it looks like this is primarily rural communities who take advantage of this. Some in parts of the country have been in it 40 years. So it's a commitment that you can make, and that's one way of going about it. A major commitment to say this is how we're going to revitalize downtown.
I'm worried about the power dynamics. I kind of feel like we have three different heads to this beast. There's Jen, there's the mayor's office, and there's us. And who sets the vision and who gets that's where I'm concerned, is who's setting this vision. Because already, as we've been discussing it, you've seen each branch kind of set a different vision or a different course of how this should go. So I think if we're gonna go forward, we need to have clearly who's setting this vision and how are we working together between the three branches.
I think what would have been helpful to start off there would be to have come to the council. I think that there were letters of recommendation written to the state, which is fine. That's a requirement of the application process. But I think that what should have occurred was a meeting with you, setting this out, and having you say as a council, we're in. This is our resolution. Give this to the state. Tell them we want to be a tier 1, then a tier 2, then a tier 3. But here we are, right? You're already at tier 2, if that's the direction you want to take.
And we said Jen's done a lot of good work. Like, we don't want to undermine what she's doing. She's doing a lot of good things.
Oh, she has.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has mentioned, when I was in a meeting with her in the mayor's office, that she's gonna find grants. And this is going to help her financially through the grants.
And I guess
And this is just like springboarding her, maybe eventually we won't have to give her that much, that she can do it on her own.
I think what GL's saying is we will have to give the money
Right,
regardless of her getting the grants. Like, we're gonna be
Right.
committed to that.
Yeah.
yeah,
She goes for the grants, she doesn't get the grants, we're still giving her 65,000.
yeah,
And because she's executing our vision and
yeah.
whoever R is, whatever R means in that sentence. Yeah.
And that may be something, if you're interested in having a meeting where she would come in and present what she thinks the vision should be, you could give input to what, and if you come to a meeting of the minds, maybe that's the direction you want to go, maybe it's not. But I think, I hear what you're saying right now, as you're sitting around the table, you don't know the vision.
I think she's got a vision, I think the mayor's office has a vision, I think we have a vision.
Right.
Yeah,
And I don't think we're on the same page of
I
what,
think we're on the same page.
100% for downtown Murray.
We're not 100%, but
Yeah.
that's why I brought you guys in to
Yeah.
a meeting. I did that on purpose, so we could get that
yeah,
vision together. But hey, I mean, if you don't want,
I'm not saying we're like worlds apart, but I think that there's definitely, I think we could crystallize it better than we have.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great, if you want to continue on.
yeah. I think if we go forward, I think that's a necessary thing that,
Yeah, absolutely.
because we need to have a clear vision of what we're doing with the program, because she's doing some great things, but it goes what Jill's saying. What exactly do we want from this? Like, what's our end goal? And I don't know if I can clearly articulate what the end goal is right now.
Or actually, what's been done up to now. Maybe we need to have a more clear vision of what's been done up to now. Because I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Yeah, I'd bring her in, if you want to continue on.
Yeah.
I sensed from the very beginning that we were supporting the mayor's vision and that Jen and Main Street was helping move forward that vision. So I kind of sensed the ideas, directions coming from the executive office, and we're supporting that. That's, when you said it's a three-headed monster, I kind of went, one head's bigger than the other and the other kind of hanging behind, but that's kind of how I see it.
I think what I hear from Councilor Hawk is, if you understand the mayor's vision, if you agree with that, that's great, put the money in there. But if you're sitting here tonight, you don't understand it, you need to understand it before you start putting money into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all it is, it's not about,
I think that would be helpful, I think, you know, to have a session where we work that out, and then with Jen, with the mayor, and with us. I think that would be really
You know, it's interesting because, where's that here? He's not here, he left. But the whole idea about this was to get someone on the outside. You and I met with someone at the league.
Yeah, we did.
with Main Street. Anyway, and the whole idea was to revitalize the area. I think she's been great. That's my own opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think there's, I think this would be similar. I mean, say we said, okay, we hire her, I hire her. You guys approve the funding. And we do it through that way, it'd fall under the administration. Same thing. But if you want it under you, and you want to be able to give ideas and that kind of stuff, then I think you should get with Jen. I think she's doing a great job. I think her and her volunteers have done, we wanted to get someone to come in that didn't work for the city.
Yeah.
But if we don't want to do that, then that's why I brought you guys in with Jen, so you could say, we don't want to go this direction, or we do want to go that direction. So we have somebody who's outside of the city, but bringing everyone, like she's the one that was responsible, when I say she, her and her group, for bringing that, whatever we call that event together at the city. That's those things she wants to do, not just one a year, but several a year. I don't know if you guys attended that. That was,
Yeah.
in my opinion, one of the greatest events that Murray City's had in my tenure here.
And she's got plans
And-
for more. in
Well,
coming
if you
months.
read her
Yeah.
email, I mean, Murray, she's gonna be doing the swag boxes for the opening of the theater.
Right.
Then October, she has another event going on, and with hot chocolates and treats with Jenkins and Soaps, and then November she has one, and then she talks about her grants. I just feel like she's really involving the downtown businesses, even with the swag bags that are going to be put together. There's things from the businesses in downtown Murray that will be in these swag bags. And so she's really got this connection with these people in the downtown area.
just to be clear, this is not unlike a general plan,
Yeah.
zoning code,
Yeah,
where you set the policy.
you're right,
And it is implemented administratively, but you still set the policy,
Right.
understanding
yeah.
what the vision is.
So my recommendation would be that maybe we do a committee of the whole in the coming weeks, where she comes in, we take 30, 45 minutes, and all of us kind of discuss where we wanna go
Yeah.
in that meeting, and
Yeah.
before we move forward, that's my recommendation.
So can I just mention real quick, so what our idea was, and Diane, you remember this years ago, we wanted to have the businesses. No one was really, and we have Elvon, and he's a busy guy, and he's doing other stuff, but what Jen has done is, what we wanted to have happen years ago is bring the businesses together. The businesses, honestly, I've been visiting businesses for quite a while. Some of them feel left out. Some don't care.
Yeah.
Some can give a hoot if they're involved, but it seems like we're finding out that more wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
And that's what Jen did. She brought 25 businesses,
Yeah.
wouldn't let anybody outside of Murray, all from Murray come in, and
That did
in my
the
opinion, that
UC.
was the cheapest 60,000 we could ever spend a year, if that's what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
If she's gonna bring it together like she did. And I've said to all of you in the meeting, there's nothing you have to say, well, let's have you prove yourself. She did. She proved herself. You may still wanna have more information, and I think that's a great idea. That committee of the whole is great. But she showed that she can do this. And she did everything not just everything, above what I expected from her. And I thought you guys kind of felt that way but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but when we were looking at it years ago, we wanted the chamber to step up.
Sure.
And to do more, and that was kind of what we were looking at as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a whole new,
Well, yeah,
Whole
but
new
did you get what you wanted?
I know.
And now you're getting it. You're literally getting what we requested years
Right.
ago. So
Yeah.
But that's a good, that, she's doing exactly what we were hoping.
No, she's doing great. Like, she's doing really good work, but I think
Yeah.
my question
I like
is, what's the vision?
Sure.
Like, what, and I just wanna make sure we're all on the same page of what the vision is.
And that would be helpful for her too.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
I
right,
think she.
because I have no doubt that she can pull off whatever we agree to, but it's just, are we all on the same page?
I think she would appreciate it.
Well, and I think with Block 1 being built and the businesses around it,
Yeah.
I think she's just gonna add so much more to that.
Mhm.
And to bring all those together. I just knowing Jen, and since the day I was sworn in, she has been here, all council members except today. She's in Puerto Rico, I think it is. But she has been here, she knows the city, she knows her stuff. I have no problem with this. I don't.
We talked to her, I think she comes back soon, so.
Thursday.
Yeah, the 18th, yeah.
Hopefully we can,
Do you have anything else? Jennifer, do you have anything else? Okay, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
thank you.
I'm calling this meeting of the Murray City Municipal Building Authority to order. We have all board members present, as well as GL, the mayor, and Brooke. I just lost your name right there, Brooke, sorry. Our first matter of business is is approval of minutes for June 17th, 2025. Do I have any comments or adjustments to the minutes?
I have none, but I will make a motion.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I will motion a approval of the Municipal Building Authority meeting for June 17th, 2025.
I'll second it.
I've got a motion from Board Member Cotter and from a second from Board Member Goodman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then our one matter of business is to consider resolution amending the budget for the Municipal Building Authority of Murray City for fiscal year 2025, 2026. Brenda Moore.
So as you guys know, the state of Utah does not allow budgets to automatically roll from one year to the other. We're in the middle of a multi-year project in the MBA to build the Public Works facility. And so on the original budget, I did roll a lot of their funds forward, but we have $3.5 million which need to be rolled forward. And I still have about $15,000 of City Hall money I'm going to roll forward, and we're going to use it for miscellaneous little things that keep coming up so that we don't have to use other people's budgets. And if we don't use that next year, we will roll it into the Public Works facility. So that is what's on this budget opening. Any questions?
Thanks, Brenda. So we have a small adjustment to the agenda. This is a public hearing, so I'm going to open this up for public comment. If you'd like to make comment about this, feel free to stand on the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and then you'll have 3 minutes. And then Patty has the form in the back. Okay, then with that, I see no public comments. I will close the public comment hearing, and I will send this to the council for any questions or discussion? Then I am open. I will entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the resolution amending, the budget for the Municipal Building Authority of Murray City for the fiscal year 2025, 2026.
I'll second.
I have a motion for Councilmember Goodman and a second for Councilmember Turner. Brooke, will you call the roll?
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Hawk?
Aye. All right, then it is a 5-0 vote approving it. And with that, we are adjourned.
is 6:35 and time for the Murray City Municipal Council meeting for September 16th, 2025. And I'd like to welcome everybody who has joined us. This is great. We have really a nice amount of people. This is awesome. Okay, so first is call to order. I just did that, and I'd like to welcome council members. We're all here. I could list them all, but you see their names, so anyway, we'll continue on with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Ben Peck to lead us in that pledge. Thank you, Ben.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll continue on with the approval of minutes for council meeting August 5th, 2025. Are there any changes? If not, I would appreciate a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the council meeting for August 5th, 2025.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. And all in favor, say aye.
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 Any that doesn't approve? Okay. All right. Now we'll continue on with citizen comments. The comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and fill out the required form that Patty has in the back. So anyway, so we're open for citizen comments. So please step forward. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name's Kathy White. City of residence is Murray. I'm also the president and CEO of the Murray Chamber, and so I just want to thank you guys, all city council, for supporting the Utah Hot Air Balloon Palooza. It is coming up this weekend at Cottonwood High School, and the purpose of the festival is to build Murray pride and economic development. As you probably have all heard about the Albuquerque International Balloon Festival, they actually bring in over $216 million to their city. And so, not saying that we can do that with this festival, we're limited on space, but we can make an event, a big impact on Murray. So this is our second year, and we invite everyone to come out and support the chamber and enjoy the hot air balloons this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
It's the pond guy again. First, I sincerely wanted to thank each of you for your public service, especially in light of what we've seen in this state in the last week. I mean it when I say it. Thank you for doing what you do and putting yourself out there and serving our community. Truly, thank you so much. You have a huge impact on our lives, and I'm grateful, and as everyone else in the community is, or at least should be. So thank you. I wanted to thank you for the thoughtful discussion in the meeting previous to this. I also wanted to thank the 15 neighbors who came out to show their support for creating a pond ordinance, and hopefully you saw them in the back of the room. It's encouraging me to see both the council and the community working together on this issue. I really appreciate the direction that the city is moving in and the balance you're trying to strike between neighborhood concerns and private property rights. As you continue refining this ordinance, I'd like to ask you to consider 3 additional points. First, there wasn't a lot of discussion on this tonight, but I think it's a related issue to potentially consider in the future, is allowable animals. I think there should be an ordinance that should clarify which species are permitted in residential ponds, such as fish, ducks, and crawfish, and in what numbers. High concentrations of animals may be appropriate in agricultural or commercial zones, or maybe even apartment zones, I don't know what you call those, but not in residential neighborhoods. For example, is it appropriate to raise an unlimited number of crawfish in a residential neighborhood? Second, limits on the total number of animals per lot. Beyond ponds, there should be reasonable limits on the combined number of animals on a property. For instance, should someone on a small lot, quarter-acre neighborhood, be able to keep the maximum of 6 chickens, 6 beehives, 3 dogs, 2 cats, fish, crawfish, ducks, bats, and guinea pigs? Is that an appropriate use? And then finally, pond size relative to lot size. I know this was touched on earlier, but I just want to emphasize my support for including it. Just as the city regulates the number of chickens and beehives based on property size, I believe it would be appropriate to scale pond size to the lot size. And once again, thank you so much for all the time that you and the city staff have spent on this issue.
Thank you, Colby.
How you guys doing? I'm a little new to this. Paul, I recognize you. Finally, we meet. My name's Peter Campbell. I bought a house just up the street here 5 years ago. Coincidentally, someone else did next door to me. The first tenants were pretty good to deal with. The last batch, I've had probably 27 police calls, and I could call a lot more, but I don't. It's gotten way out of control now with 14 tenants living in there, most of them probably illegal. I've called the police, I've asked for help, code enforcement officers, code enforcement, and it seems like to no avail. They told me it's Section 8, I go to Section 8, I file the complaints, nothing. It's gotten so bad that just last week, one of the guys there channeled me to a fight. Now, I'm 64 and I can still hold my own, but I'm not here to get into a fight with a neighbor. I'd rather live my third quarter of my life in peace. I've made some improvements to the house. I'm asking for some sort of help here now, because next week I'm putting my house on the market. It shouldn't have to happen like this. And it's real simple. It seems like there's an ordinance deficiency, or there's some sort of new code that they can't enforce. And every officer's telling me to stand down. What am I supposed to do? It's getting worse. Inoperable vehicles over there, they run a mechanic shop. With 14 people, it's like a 7-Eleven. It's bad over there. I'm just asking for some help. That's all I'm asking. That's it, I'll keep it brief. Good seeing you. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Police Chief, I'm starting to get to know who's who. Paul, thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, we'll close citizen comments and go to special recognition. So our Murray City Employee of the Month is Steve Davis, Water Distribution Technician, and myself, Brett Hales, and Aaron Fisk will be presenting. Okay. Steve, so nice to see you and have you here and get all this adulation and attention. I bet you love it, right? Okay. For 36 years, Steve Davis has been an outstanding member of the Murray City Water Department. He has never hesitated to take an additional workload, whether responding to service shutoffs, addressing water quality issues, or handling emergency locate requests. His positive attitude and reliability are deeply appreciated, not only by field crews, but also by our office administrators. Steve has managed the city's backflow and meter program for decades, bringing consistency and expertise to critical areas of water system operation. As a state-certified water distribution Grade 4 and water treatment Grade 1 operator and a certified backflow proctor, Steve has also played an important role in training and evaluating others in the industry. His immense knowledge of Murray's water system makes him a go-to resource for troubleshooting complex issues, and he has taken responsibility for repairing the majority of the city's large compound meters. You all understand all that stuff, right? Ensuring accurate measurement and reliable service. Steve Davis's career reflects the best of public service, dedication, and quiet excellence. His commitment has made Murray's water system stronger, more reliable, and better prepared for the future. Steve, congratulations. You want to give him?
Thanks, Diane. Oh, yeah, thanks, Rob. Come on here, Steve. So, thank you, Diane. That was wonderful. And this is, we'll use this, I guess, too. Is that on? Okay. So anyway, this is $50 from the council and from the administration to show our appreciation. And 36 years, Steve, that's a long time, and we know you're going to stick around for another 20 years. So how come he laughs like that? It's funny. Anyway, we do. We appreciate all you've done, and what a wonderful opportunity. How many are here? I want to see how many by the show of hands are here for Steve. That's a pretty good turnout. Thank you. Usually no one comes to, I'm kidding. Oh, I loved it. Kathy's here for you too, she said. Anyway, thank you for being here, everyone. And Steve, thanks for all you've done. And that's quite an honor. And Aaron's going to say a few more words, but you were nominated, and we're excited that you could have this honor, and we appreciate all you've done. Again, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
On behalf of the council, thank you so much.
Do his thing, and then we're going to go out.
All right, Steve. Well, Diane read what I was going to say a lot better than how I would have read it. So I just want to appreciate you for the 36 years. Not only all the work that you've done, but the 28 years that I've worked for the city, the friendship, the mentorship that you've provided me. I can't thank you enough. So just appreciate your attitude towards work. So thank you.
You know what? There are more people who are more deserving than this to me, because there are more people here that have taught me everything that I've known in Murray City. I couldn't have done it without the people that I have worked with over the years. The kindness and the friendship I have seen from everybody. And I'd like to thank everybody for that. I could not have done it without it. Thank you.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Again, thank you so much. All right, now we're at another special presentation, which is presentation of the 2025 Jim and Jean Hendrickson Beautification Awards. We have Matt Erklins and the Shade Tree Commission presenting.
Thank you, committee, and the mayor for allowing us the time to do our presentation. Let's see, I just need to get the PowerPoint set up. Okay, I would like to thank you for allowing us the time to present the 41st Annual Jim and Jean Hendrickson Beautification Awards. I met Jim a long time ago, and he was really great to work with. He was very passionate about trees and, the beautification of people's properties. So I'd just like to spend a second and just thank Jim for all of his hard work that he's done. But I'd like to introduce our committee members: Jan Cox with District 1, Marshall Smith with District 4, and then Alex Matro with District 5. These are our Shade Tree Committee members, and we'd like to put the presentation on. Thank you. Yes. Does that work? There we go. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Just in there. Our District 1 winners are Travis and Terry Daly at 895 West Halcyon Drive, and I'm not sure they are here. Oh, they are here.
They are. Perfect.
And here's here's a picture of their yard.
Wow.
And it's very unique. They've done their lawn in patchwork.
I know, I do need a photo.
That's lovely. All right, thank you.
In District 2, it's Rick and Judy Hughes, 728 West Walden Hills Drive. And Rick is here.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Perfect. And I had the pleasure of going to all the District 3 residences that I could, and the winners are at 4724 South Rainbow Circle. The Halls, are you here today? No? All right, well, if you do find yourselves in Rainbow Circle, it's a lovely neighborhood. They in particular had a very patriotic setup. We were around there for the 4th of July. It was very awesome to see, and they were a contender pretty much every year we've done this. So they do an excellent job. If you happen to know them or be around them, it's a great place to see.
Okay, for District 4, I have Carol Cook, and she's at 1697 East of Vine Street.
All right. That's so beautiful. Oh, my
It is
goodness.
really.
I go by it almost every day and just appreciate it's lovely.
Perfect. And for District 5, we had quite the number of contenders, but the Kiefers won. Are you here today? Lucky me, I guess. So that's on 1714 East Vine Street, not too far away from the Cooks. Again, very big, beautiful property. They did a fantastic array of flowers and different types. Again, you can see it right across Vine. It'll be on your south side. But congratulations to them as well.
All right.
That also leads me, we have an award for a water-wise living park strip. So again, we judge just the park strips that are right by the street. And this property we were super impressed by. They had a big variety. They've got a really big park strip to work with. It was super impressive to see. The Christiansens, are you here today? There you go, come on up.
Wow.
Congratulations, it was very gorgeous.
And the next award is for the Zeroscape for the city, and it is Frank Strawn, I hope I pronounced that correct, 5963 South, 610 West. Ah, here he is.
All right.
Congratulations, thank you.
Over on 59th on State Street, 5899 South State Street, Mountain America Credit Union. Is Jackson here? I don't know if she got a hold of Jackson. He didn't make it? Are you here for it? Yeah. Come on up, come on up. Your place looks great. That was commercial.
Congratulations.
Yeah, oh, place looks great. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Multifamily category, Cobble Creek. They're on 5251 South and Cobble Creek Road, apartment complex. Is anyone here? Great, come on over.
All right.
Yeah. Place looks terrific.
Congratulations. Thank you for making it look great.
Yes, it is.
And we just get to see from the outside, so.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, Senior District, go ahead.
Matt? Right? You want to do citywide? Okay, all right. Oh. Citywide winner. Brett and Suzanne, your place looks terrific. They're on 5945 South Fontainebleau Drive. And I have to add that not only do they work really hard, but they involve the entire community is what, they do it for the community and the community does it for them.
You do an amazing job. Yes. Keep up the wonderful work. Oh my gosh.
Hey, thank you very much. It's beautiful.
You guys have the most amazing backyard, and I mean, you just do a wonderful job. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, those of you that just received these wonderful awards, you're welcome to leave. I bet you're exhausted. I mean, you have such gorgeous, gorgeous homes. Thank you. Okay, we're at the consent agenda. And so Mayor Hales would be presenting, and this is to consider confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Phil Markham to the Personnel Advisory Board for a term beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028.
Oh, Phil loves this. Oh, come on up, Phil. I thought you were behind me. Well, you were way behind me. He loves this. He asked if he could come up here, and I said, absolutely. You know, I can get away with a little bit maybe not very much longer since he's going to be on this.
You usually have everybody just stand if they're present.
That's right. Well, I'm having you come up. So anyway, you all know Phil Markham. And
Yes, we do.
you do. Okay. He's done a lot of things for this city, and we love and appreciate him. But for here today, we're going to ask the council for confirmation of an appointment, of my appointment of Phil Markham to the Personnel Advisory Board for a term beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028.
Okay, now, council, I would appreciate a motion.
I have a question first.
Oh, no. Yes, of course.
Mr. Mayor, I thought he retired.
He has 7 times.
Okay. Just clarifying. I'll make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment of Phil Markham to the Personnel Advisory Board for a term beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks for being willing to put up with us again. All right, we are now at public hearings. And the first one is to consider an ordinance permanently closing an alleyway located at approximately 4822 South between State Street and the formerly vacated Poplar Street, Murray City, Salt Lake County, State of Utah. Chad Wilkinson. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, let me just get this screen up the right way. This is our last discussion. Oh, boy. It's going to take me longer to do this than it is to talk about it. So here's where, I'm just going to talk about it. If you're interested in where this is located, it's that direction about 500 feet. We've got a public alleyway that we're looking to vacate the right-of-way. This is as the Block 1 project continues to march along. This is another step that's part of that process. It's a cleanup step. This alleyway, thanks, Cameron. This is going to be lightning speed back. This alleyway has been really something we've been considering vacating for a long time. It was just a matter of getting the right timing, the right folks to own that property to the south, as this alleyway will split both ways. We do have the agreement now in place with Rockworth Development. Once this alleyway has been vacated, it can be included in the plat and in the deeds conveying this property to Rockworth for their completion of the Block 1 project. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. This ordinance would create, would vacate this right-of-way. It's no longer a public right-of-way at that point. It can then be conveyed to the developer. So I'm happy to answer any questions if I can.
Okay, we will open the public hearing for public comments. And so the same restrictions as with our citizen comments. 3 minutes, come to the microphone. Okay, seeing no public comments at this time, I will close it and go back to Chad. Do you have any questions? Does the council have any questions of Chad? Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Then I'll send it to the council for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance permanently closing the alleyway located at approximately 4822 South State Street between State Street and the formerly vacated Poplar Street.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion? Call the roll.
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Okay, now we are at our second public hearing. And that is to consider an ordinance amending sections 17.24.050, 17.96.020, 17.100.020, 17.104.020, 17.108.020, 17.112.020, 17.116.020, 17.120.020, 17.124.020, and 17.128.020 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to the maximum number of children permitted at a licensed in-home daycare. And it looks like Zach is here.
Yeah, David was
Welcome,
sick,
Zach.
and so I'm here today. This is a request from Miss Amy's Daycare to increase the number of children allowed in in-home daycare from 12 to 16. A little backstory here, the state recently allows for cities or allows for daycares to be permitted up to 16 children. Our code still only allows 12 children in an in-home daycare. The state doesn't require that we go up to 16, but they do allow us to go up to 16 if we choose to do so. So we are making some amendments that we have seen throughout the years in other home-based businesses or home-based daycares. After doing thorough research around the county and on what other cities have done for in-home daycares. So you'll see here, we're adding 8 additional items that need to be addressed during that, when somebody comes in to apply for a daycare. Largely, you'll see it'll be between 9 and 16 qualified children at any given time is defined in Utah State Code. And that includes the caregiver's own children. And then also a secure outdoor play area required for all residential in-home daycares. And then also, notwithstanding the restrictions of daycare services shall be permitted to have the allowed number of employees as required by the State Department of Health. This allows for, currently our home occupation only allows 1 employee, but this would allow what the state would require. So I think typically for 16, they require 2 caregivers. So that would allow for possibly an additional employee based on that. Additionally, we are looking, codifying standards for parking in here. Typically, they have not been codified. We've just been really just looking at best standards. But here we are codifying 1 off-street parking space for pickup and drop-off when there are 1 to 8 children, and 2 off-street parking spaces when there are 9 to 16, and an additional off-street space for each employee not residing in the dwelling. And those can't be the same spaces, so they would have to be separated and would have to be indicated on a site plan. Pickup and drop-off of children shall be staggered to lessen neighborhood traffic. We left that kind of open-ended because some people might have an influx in the morning, so we can, and are able to get them out, get people in and out within 5 or 10 minutes. We didn't want to put a specific time on, a 15-minute drop-off window, because that could take a very long time. So, also 1 residential sign is allowed on the dwelling or lot. That goes in harmony with what we currently allow for signage. And then the use shall comply with all local, state, and federal laws and regulations. And then upon complaint that 1 or more of the requirements of this section or other city ordinance is being violated, the city shall review, and if substantiated, may initiate revocation proceedings within the code. And as Councilwoman Turner had mentioned, there were a lot of sections that she had to read in that ordinance, because all of our residential zones have use tables, so we have to amend each one of those, so that really, each one of those sections is just really changing that from 12 to 16. And you can see that in pretty much every single one of these. So, findings, we find that the proposed text amendment promotes flexibility for small businesses to encourage more flexible activities as part of their business model. The proposed text amendment has been reviewed to ensure the health, safety, and general welfare of the community is maintained. Staff finds that continuing to support home occupation businesses is supported by the general plan. And then the Murray City Planning Commission held a public hearing on July 3rd of 2025 and voted 6-0 to forward a recommendation of approval. So with that, the Planning Commission and staff are recommending that the City Council adopt the ordinance amending section 17.24.050 by adding subsection C and amending the residential zones to change the number of children permitted and an in-home childcare as reviewed. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
How many babies are allowed with that, with the 16 children?
It's regulated by state code. I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but I believe it is in your packet, that it was provided with the Utah State review.
So I think it's 2?
If that's what's in your packet, I apologize, I don't have that number.
Okay, so.
Because that would be checked, that would be verified through the Department of Health.
Right, so 16 for 2 staff and 2 babies would be allowed with that number.
No, it would be 16 total.
Right,
So
but 2
14.
babies in that 16.
Yeah, so there would be 14.
Okay, for 2. For
Yeah, with 2 infants.
Caregivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Zach right now? Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, do we have the person that is requesting this, does she want to present? So you are the sponsor?
I'm Amy Blackwell, and I run Miss Amy's Daycare. Did you have any questions for me? Or no?
Do you know, it's 2 babies with the 16 that are allowed, correct?
It's 4.
Would you speak into the microphone?
Sorry. Oh, that's louder. It is, I'm used to yelling all day long. So it's 4 children it's 4 infants under the age of 2, with 2 of them being 18 months and 2 caregivers. It's 1 caregiver per 8 children with 2 infants, 1 being 18 months, or 16 children with 2 caregivers, 4 infants under 18 months and 2 over 18 months.
And that's what you're requesting the change to be?
I'm requesting to go from 12 children to 16 children with, yes, the 4, 6.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's so confusing. It's 4 infants and 2 18-month with 2 caregivers.
Okay.
How long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this for 24 years. And it's because my families are growing.
It's because what?
I'm requesting 16 children,
Right.
4 more children, because my families keep growing.
Oh,
My families are growing, so I need to grow with my families, or they find somewhere else to go. But 2003. So a
Thank
very
you.
long time.
thank you.
Can I go sit down?
Is there anything else you would like to say to the council?
I know that you've had a concern about 16 children being a lot of children.
Yes.
And I understand that. But for us, it's just 4 more children, and it's 1 more sister or 1 more brother or a mom having twins unexpectedly that's coming into our world. The state will never, ever, ever go past 16. 16 is the cap, And we will never ask for 18 children or 17. We will never ask for more babies, or this is the cap for Utah State Child Care. And I know it's been, I mean, I think some people shouldn't have more than 2 or 3 children, like in their own personal homes, because they can't raise the 2. But then there's those families who can raise 8 to 12 kids. They just keep popping those babies out, and they do just fine with 12. And others can't do more than 2. But I think with licensing, they're aware of what we're capable of and what we're not capable of. And our homes are monitored so much. We have licensing come inspect our homes once announced, once unannounced. We have the food program come every 3 months unannounced. They just count the kids, check our food, check our inventory, count our children. I mean, we're under strict, what is it, like, we're watched.
You're under the microscope.
We are under a microscope. Our parents, you know, we've had parent complaints, and we just better ourselves from parent complaints. I did not. Some of us have. But I don't know. I think that's all I have to say.
Your petition looked very amazing with all the signatures that you went around.
Did you know that half my neighborhood had no idea I did a daycare? They're like, "Where's your daycare at?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just at the end of the road."
Yeah.
People in my neighborhood had no idea I ran a daycare.
Yeah. It's
So
very
thank
quiet.
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing how many signatures that you got. That says a lot to you.
Thank you.
And to your daycare and to the workers. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, now I will open this public hearing for public comment.
Hi, my name is Melody Jenkins. I've actually been doing daycare for about 20 years now. And like she said, we've actually contacted about almost all the in-home daycares around this area. There's probably about 10. And we've talked to them several times, and we've asked if they would like to help us, and they says, for sure, we would like to help us. And the reason why I actually wanted to help Amy too is because I do run into the problems, like I do not have 16 kids all the times, but sometimes then there are kids that are after school, and a lot of the moms are like, you know what, you're kind of older, you're about 10 or 11, I'm just gonna leave you home, you know, because they don't have room for you. And I'm like, you know what, let's just make room for these after-school kids. Let's up it to 16. Let's give them a place that they can be monitored and taken care of and have some structure and get them a good snack and get them taken care of. And like a lot of them, it's not necessarily the babies we're tending, but it hits us a little bit harder when it's after school, when all the kids come home, and instead of having those kids go home, we're like, you know what, just come here and we will take care of you and we'll love you and make sure you don't get into any trouble and make sure that everything is okay. And the other ones too, they says we do not have 16 kids all the time. Sometimes in the summer when all the kids are out of school and different things, we have to shift things around a little bit to get it taken care of. But the main thing is that we do want to just make sure that when these kids are out of school, they have some place to go and they are taken care of. And like she said, the state, we are all licensed with the state and we are all monitored very well. They come in, they make sure that we're taken care of. We have no choking hazards in the home. All of our equipment is up to par. We are feeding them well-balanced meals. Everything is wonderful for these kids, and we really do love them. We love all these kids, and we want to make sure that everything is the best for them. In fact, our main priority is the kids and the families, to keep the families together. There have been some families that says, you know what, if I do have more kids and I can't come to you, it's really hard to split up the families and have a couple here and a couple there. It's just, it gives us a little bit more leeway to help all the families get what they need, and we really appreciate your help, and that's all I want to say.
My name is Jan Cox, and I live on Bullion in Miss Amy's route to school every day. And she is so organized. I didn't know she was going to be here today, but she walks those kids to school on the good days, and they are so organized, and they practiced for a week before school started. Yeah, yes, and I highly recommend it. She is just wonderful.
Okay, seeing no other comments, I will close this public hearing and put it to the council. Any comments?
Yes, I'm still concerned at the number of children. I get that this particular school might be able to handle it without any problem. I can see they're very, very well organized and well disciplined and have neighborhood support. I'm concerned about the person who can't handle it, and we're opening a door for them. And all of a sudden, we have somebody who has 16 kids in the house that are just not able to do a good job. That's my concern. What we approve here applies to the whole city for the rest of time until it's changed. In this particular case, it seems to be a great fit, that it would work wonderful. I'm concerned that it wouldn't be a great fit for the majority of the people. That's my concern.
Thank you.
Can the applicant come up and talk on this, that Councilmember Pickett brought forward or not? No? As you close the comments, correct?
Yeah, I close the comments,
Okay.
but she can come up. Amy? Oh, did you want Amy or?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I was going to say that.
Oh, wait, no.
No.
No,
I can't.
Amy?
no, Amy can come up, but. Yeah, I closed the comments section, so.
Okay. Not everybody is going to be allowed to have 16 children. We have to have the square footage in our home to have the 16 children. It's 35 square foot per child, and the smaller homes obviously don't have that amount of room to have the 16 kids. If there are complaints by parents, if, you pick up your children, you get upset, you're going to call licensing and complain. Licensing comes out to your house within 24 hours, and they'll shut you down. Licensing will shut you down like nobody's business if, like a finding, if they have a complaint and there's a finding, they won't even hesitate. They will shut you down. If that helps.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just real quick, it takes a really special person to do what she does and what she does. We've got enough rules between the state, what Zach has put together. I mean, the 8 items that were perfect. I love number 8. And the parents. I mean, the parents will be the final say on where their kids go. So, I mean, I take it for what it's worth. I think this is a great idea.
And also the Planning Commission passed it 6-0. So,
Yeah, I think Zach mentioned that.
and if Planning Commission had a problem, they wouldn't do that, but anyways. And with the shortage of daycare in the valley and all over, my hat's off to you. Thank you. Because I have a granddaughter that is in daycare. And it's really hard to find somebody that can take care of the little ones while their mom and their dad are gone at a job. So it's not like how it was in the 80s where mom could stay home and raise the kids. Now, with the economy and everything, they have to have people like you. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to make a comment. I am concerned about the number. Going from 12 to 16, that's for 2 caregivers. From my perspective, is too many. My responsibility as a council member is for the health and safety of my community and its citizens, and this just troubles me. I'm concerned. I mean, Amy, I have no doubt that you do a wonderful job. I mean, I hear, everything I hear. But as Paul said, it's not just about you. It's about our whole city. that we have to consider. And anyway, so I'm concerned that 16 for two people, including babies, I think that's too much. And I think that this safety piece then goes down. So that's my concern. Okay. All right, I will send it to the council for a motion.
I move the approval of the Murray City Code Section 17.24.050 subsection C and amend all residential zones.
You're not going to name the sections?
No, GL, should I mention all the sections?
So if you'll refer at least to the agenda, what's listed there.
And refer to the agenda.
So we're good with that, Jill? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good rule.
All right, I second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Okay, Brooke, would you take the roll?
Mr. Hawk. So I feel like this, everybody else expressed their thoughts already. I'll hit a few of mine. I think this ordinance eliminates some of the administrative confusion that takes place between state and city ordinances. And there's enough state regulations in place to check for safety. So, aye.
Mr. Pickett.
Nay.
Ms. Cotter.
Aye.
Mr. Goodman.
Aye.
And Ms. Turner.
Nay. Okay, motion passes 3-2. All right, let's continue on to number 3, which is to consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Brenda Moore.
I'm not Brenda, just taking my
I
laptop.
was going to say, you don't look like Brenda.
Okay, we have a budget amendment. This is the biggest one of the year. This is because of the roll forward of the projects, mostly construction projects, but other capital projects that happen during the summer and various other times of the year and that don't get finished as of June 30th. We do have some grants in this that we have received and that are rolling forward. We also have some new things from reserves. Most of these things went back into reserves or coming out, but the new ones, just so we highlight them, I'm doing some corrections for insurance changes. We budget before everybody picks their open enrollment, and if one person in a 3-person department goes from opting out of insurance and getting family insurance, that is a $18,000 change, and the budget cannot handle that. So we've got some general fund money that's doing, that's changing $31,000 for that kind of thing. Cemetery, information technology, and the water fund has one person. Library fund didn't quite have all of the expenses that were needed for the new director, so those are being added. Stormwater fund, we are going to transfer property to the general fund. That has a book value. It's not cash, but a book value. And they're going to take a loss on that little third of a piece of property of around $170,000. So the rest of them are all rollover projects. I did send an email to you. I have adjusted this down because I neglected to subtract some that I had already rolled forward for the theater and for, what was the other one? The museum and the armory and equipment. So I adjusted those. Your ordinance that you're voting on is the adjusted one. So you don't need to make anything special, just approve the ordinance as it goes. Other things, capital improvement projects fund, it is now down to only taking out of reserves $10.8 million of projects that are either being saved for or in process. And we can discuss any of them you want, and I can go into details if you want. Some of the highlights are all there's street projects all over the place that are happening. The IT's doing some stuff. We have a truck we've been trying to get for 4 years that we're finally probably going to get. Now, I did find information on this. For an extra 100,000, we could go out and buy a truck that's already put together, the bed, the whatever, but it would cost us $100,000 more and we could get it quicker. But by the time you get 4 vehicles, an extra 100,000, we can get a 5th vehicle. So they go buy the chassis, then they have to wait for the bed to get on it, and then the equipment. So it takes us a little longer, but it saves us a lot of money. That's one thing I learned in this process. We got various street projects going, and then some new projects. The E360 business license software, we're going to enter the 21st century and be able to do things online. We have some reserves we're taking from reserves to buy a property on Vine Street to build a parking lot. And then some reserves to match a UDOT TAP grant for upgrades to a pedestrian tracks things to make it safer for pedestrians. I don't know exactly what that means. Probably those fences and various other things to make it so that you look for a train before you cross. So, any questions?
How much are we taking out of reserves?
Well, everything that we took out, most of it is being put back in. In the general fund, I think alls we're taking out of reserves is maybe $50,000 that wasn't already put back in.
Okay, so we're still at 26?
We will end up the year at 26. I've already done the math on the last one. I don't do it exactly how the auditor does it, but it's close. We will be at 26% of our revenue, yes.
Very good, thank you. Okay, are there questions at this point? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to comment on this now's your time. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing, send it to the council for comments or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2025, 2026 budget. Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion? Okay, Brooke, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hawk?
Aye.
Mr. Pickett?
Aye.
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Goodman?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye. Okay, thank you, Brooke. Motion passes, and now we are at the mayor's report and questions from the council.
The only thing I have for this evening, sorry, Diane. The only thing I have for this evening, Kathy, you made the announcement already, but for the Balloon Palooza, again, that'll be September 19th through the 21st, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And they're going to have lots of fun. Now, somebody's getting on the balloon. Is that you, Diane?
I am.
I can't believe you other people. Come on.
Woohoo!
I know.
Shall I
Kathy's
mention
coming
that
with
I
me.
will be on a balloon?
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I am.
it'll be fun.
Oh,
I
you're
can't
doing it as
wait
well.
to see it.
All right.
Anyway, we're excited for that, Kathy. Thanks to you and for the chamber for all you've done, and thanks to the council for allowing for their police and fire and EMT and everyone to be there to help support. And we're looking for a great turnout. I think we had like 10,000 last year. It should be more, Kathy, because you've done it 1 year and now we're doing it again. So we're excited to do that. And also, I've never had a building official call me personally and tell me that the theater passed. So everything's ready to go. We're up and going.
Yay.
Lauren already has sold out
nice.
for Friday evening.
Just out of curiosity, was it a spam call?
What's that? I didn't hear what you said.
Was it a spam call?
That
The building's going?
I thought you said, was it Pam? No, it was Thomas. I had no idea who it was, to be honest. Jeff had him call me, and I thought, who's this? What code are you talking about? Anyway, so that is done, and it looks great, honestly. I went over this morning, it looks phenomenal, so we're looking forward to that opening. But anyway, that is my report.
All right. Wish me and Pam luck on our ascent.
Should I mention who's coming with me?
If you want.
It will be our executive director, Jennifer Kennedy, will be riding along with me.
She told me she wouldn't do it.
Well, I kind of.
Wow, okay. Thank you all for being here, and we are adjourned.